Let's see here.
That's so funky that your computer does that.
Like I said, it's a me thing. It's my fault.
No, it's not. You're all good.
Oh, hell no, dude. I should have had this shit on point. Tell him, Johnny.
Well, I mean, you know.
Tell him we're live. Johnny will say.
There's something to it.
He said there's something to it. Look, he ain't beat me yet,
Alright,
so
it's a
we're
good
okay.
transition. Alright, we're
Yeah.
good.
Awesome. We're on. We're live.
Are we live?
Yes. Yeah.
Hell yeah, we're back.
As live as we can be.
Live. Obviously, it is live. Hard to fuck up this much when you're not live. You didn't miss nothing.
You missed.
Now we're back in HD.
nada.
I do look a little yellow, but it's fine.
Yellow.
We're working on it. Look at me. Look at me on the
Oh
screen.
my God.
Kind of yellow.
I got you. Let me
I'm
see
pulling
if I
up
can
my
get
chat.
something
It's fine. It's fine. It doesn't matter.
Happy birthday, Baxter. That was yesterday.
Yesterday, you're a day late and $1 short. No, I'm just kidding.
Nice try.
No. If only he was here. He's going back to teaching.
That's right.
Sad. Sad that
Yeah.
he's back.
That's how rough we got it right now.
That was maybe the shortest live stream. But now we're doing 2 in a day. It's like
Two
a
in a
bonus. It's like a bonus live stream.
Does it work that way?
No.
If we just add them up?
It could be. It could be.
Man. Y'all know how hard it's been raining here lately? It's
Well,
been crazy.
Chris says, Jonathan, is that lovely gold top making you look yellow? If all I had to do to have a nice gold top was look a little yellow,
Look a little yellow.
I'd be fine with that.
Yellow fever.
I'd be fine. Kevin Walsh, good morning, sir.
Kevin.
How do we feel about one Les Paul the rest of your life? Gold top or a burst?
I think I'd go burst. Gold top's like.
And obviously, we're not talking like real. We're talking like,
Oh, yeah.
you know, Murphy
yeah.
Lab,
Yeah. Burst.
burst.
Burst. That's me all day. I think the gold top would get old. I think you would.
I mean, I
get
feel
to a
like I
point.
could live with a gold top. I don't know. It's
I
hard.
mean, sure. Like,
It's hard.
live with it.
Dirty
But-
lemon. Dirty lemon, Chris Thomas says.
You should be a little.
I can dirty lemon. Look at me. Look at me now. Look at
a
us.
little less like yellow now.
Look at us.
Look at that, dude. Look a little more white.
The feel button says I haven't even had my first Les Paul yet. I feel like of the
You ever-
handful of Les Pauls I've had,
How many Les Pauls have you had? Talk us down Les Paul journey. I've not had any. 0.
I'm gonna throw out Les Paul like things because no one cares about those.
Well, I mean,
Let's be honest.
up to a degree. Like,
Unless it's like, you know, like you're now I'm not mean like, let's say you got a badass Epiphone like Les Paul. Fine. I've never owned a Lepiphone and a Lepiphone. I've never owned an Epiphone Les Paul. So really, the first decent electric guitar that I had after my first Squire was a Gibson The Paul, equipped with special dirty fingers humbuckers.
Whoa.
You ever seen one of those? Like the brown, it looks like a pecan,
I'm gonna pull it
a
up.
pecan, if you will.
It's
You
been a
know.
while.
I had one of those, and then I was Gibsonless for most of my life until in Nashville I purchased
Oh my
myself.
God.
I know. It's yes,
Dude, they're going for like $1,500.
son of a. They're not worth that. No, my dear friend Bob Chavis gave me that guitar, and I was like, oh my God, a Gibson. I lost my mind. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's
and
not bad,
and
though.
it was not. Those aren't. They're light. They're not bad guitars. I'm just
No.
saying it's not quite like.
Oh, it's yeah.
Les Paul, but it's the
Yeah.
Paul. But yeah, he gave me that guitar, dude, and I was going off to drop out of college, you know, on my path to drop out
You'll
of college.
need this on your
You're
way.
gonna need this. And then he was like, if you ever want to get rid of it, you just let me know so you can sell it back to me, and I'll buy it back from you. And I was like, Bob, I really need an acoustic, man. You want to buy this? You know, you want this guitar back? And he's like, no, man, go trade it. So I went and traded it for what I thought was a cool acoustic at the time, but was actually a god awful Oscar Schmidt. Yeah, no. That's not true. It was a Washburn. I had an
Okay.
Oscar Schmidt
Okay.
that I got rid of going to college. It was
The
a Washburn.
Washburn is less of a sin.
Well, you know, Oscar Schmidt was like, at one point, if I'm not mistaken, was like the Squire of Washburn.
Really?
Yeah, it was like Oscar Schmidt by Washburn at one point. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's true. But anyways, I bought a
I
Washburn.
thought that was the Sam Ash house brand. Michael
Oscar
Kelly
Schmidt.
is GC, right?
That's no. That's that. They were Sam Ash for a minute.
Oh, okay, that's what I'm.
But listen, here's the crazy thing, right? Going to trade that guitar, traded it for that Washburn acoustic.
Yeah.
At a guitar shop in Somerville, South Carolina. Sitting there showing these kids how to play these songs, waiting on the guy, because the guy working then on the shop was teaching. He's like, I'll be with you in a bit. And I'm just sitting there forever. And these kids are like, these dumb kids are in there, and they're like trying to play some like Def Leppard song or something. I'm like, no. Let me show you. And so he comes out, and I'm showing that. He's like, you ever taught guitar lessons? And I'm like, no. And that was how I got my first job in a music stop, sure. So the Paul is clearly what brought me to here. Curse it. No, I'm just, so that's that, right?
That's okay. So what
that
was
was
the
that
next
one.
Yeah.
And then I was Gibsonless all the way. Fast forward, probably 2013. And that's in the year probably like 2001. Fenders all my life, and some other random guitars, but most like vast majority Fenders, like vast majority.
Yeah.
And then I bought a 2013 traditional, which was at the time they had a Trad Pro, which had all the the bullshit push pull knobs or whatever, and weight relieves.
Yeah.
They're fine.
I mean,
whatever.
not garbage,
but
garbage.
The traditional had the old school wiring,
Yeah.
non-weight relieves, and just like a Les Paul. It was basically the classic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was called the traditional in 2013, and I had that guitar in Honeyburst, and it was such a good guitar
Badass.
until things all went to shit with Dexter Robertson. I was like, oh, I should pay my rent, and I saw that.
So
That's another story for a different time. But
did you ever own just like a straight up standard, like a?
well, that traditional was that. It was basically like a stand. That's what it was. The standard was essentially that at the time.
Okay.
Because in that year, it was a traditional Pro was the modern features. With the push pull or push things.
Yeah.
And then they called it the traditional was basically just a standard. But I mean, it was like I forget how much those were at the time.
Or something, right?
It was more than $2,000. It might be like $23.99.
How did you feel playing that? Was it
It was great. Honestly, I probably liked that guitar more than most of the like standard 50s and 60s that I play now. Not talking like custom shop. We're just talking.
Yeah.
If I could if someone was like, hey, you can have that guitar back, I'd be like, okay, I gotta get Les Paul. I was totally. I only sold it for economic reasons. Pickups were fine. I would probably at this point in my life get some like badass even Antiquities or something would have been a little better.
PAF
Lawlers or like some of the friggin' there's pick a brand that you like. But yeah, I would have probably switched them out. But at the time, they weren't bad. And I played a ton of Nashville gigs with that guitar.
Yeah.
But it was towards the first to go on the chopping block when I got in that.
Well, and you had the Sparkle Telly by then, right?
Yeah.
And
So I when I hit a point where I was playing like all the time, like that was my income.
Yeah.
But I was still doing the like every 2 or 3 weeks at Guitar Center, just doing inventory for them, just to keep my discount because they had turned over the ops manager and he was like, please stay because you know how to do cycle counts. And I was like, cool. And I was like saw how far I could push that, and I was just like, well, I'll be in 3 Tuesdays. But I wouldn't go to Saturday meetings. I wasn't doing that. It was like kind of great. And I'd come in, I'd get my clipboard, walk around, I'd do little counts, pretend. And then I told him, I was like, when I'm done, I'm leaving. Like there is no schedule. So I would come in like on a Tuesday, do the count, dude, noon.
See ya.
Peace out. But it all it did was give me a discount. So anyways, I had, so the first thing I bought was that Sparkle Telly. That was the first like legit guitar I bought. And then I bought that Les Paul.
Cool.
You guys are going to judge me. You're going to judge me. Not for this one. I bought a double cut center block White Falcon.
Cool.
I already had a Nash or 2.
Yeah.
No, I had the one Nash Telly. I just had the blue one at that point.
Yeah.
I didn't have the orange one yet. And then, this is where you're going to judge me. I was playing a ton of, in Nashville, you got to stack your gigs, man. So, after, that sort of, you hit the 6 o'clock and it's for sure full band.
Yeah.
Right? But before that, there's a gray zone. And then if it's like a noon thing, you're for sure probably acoustic.
Yeah.
And I was playing all these 4-hour acoustic sets, playing lead for mostly this girl, Bridget, who was cool that I'd play all these gigs for. And it was just killing. And then I'd go play for 4 more hours that night, and it was killing me. And I bought a T5. So I actually bought a T5 with it, but you know that was all the same.
I was thinking you were gonna say something like really
Nah.
crazy.
I tell you, the first thing I
whoa.
bought from Guitar Center in Nashville was this. They did a Fender special run, one of the FSR runs, not custom shop or anything. And it was Gretsch orange,
Yeah.
top binding, like cream binding, black pickguard, P90s, Telly. I mean, dude, what an idiot! And I sold that thing.
Nice.
I could never get it to stay in tune great, and I just didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
It just probably needed a new nut, or the nut
Yeah.
like cut a bit. But it was a cheap. Like if I just put a bone nut on that
Yeah,
guitar,
I get that though.
done,
Yeah.
sold.
Well, it's like me playing that classic vibe Squire. I've been playing it a bunch, and it's like I am coming down to some
Yeah.
decisions like that. I'm like, do I swap out the tuners? Is it worthwhile? Like I got to route out the holes a little bit bigger. Does it make sense? Is it
Maybe.
or
You know, I
do
don't know
just
the
wait,
tune. You know, who knows, man.
You know,
Um,
for a better guitar
um,
kind of thing. That's right.
Tom says, I'm pretty sure you're still doing this at Casino Jonathan. Come in, do a live stream, then bail out.
In
Yeah.
and out. No.
But anyways, so but yeah, I bought the traditional. Those are my two Les Paul. That's the only real Les Paul that I've ever owned.
I've never owned a Les Paul. But I also am like, I don't know if that. I'm never like standing up and playing a Les Paul feels weird. Sitting and playing a Les Paul feels sort of weird. I don't know. I just think it's not my guitar.
When I had that one, man, it took me a bit. I've always loved the tone, but like I don't know, growing up, like learning to play, Fenders and things like that were accessible.
Yes.
Gibson was not. And if there was a Gibson that was sort of accessible, it was the Studio, the wine red Studio that everyone in the world had. You know what I mean? But then I didn't really want that, and I was like, it's still expensive, sort of. And so I'm like, if I'm gonna, I'd just rather have a nice Fender. But I mean, most of my life I played like just the higher end of the Mexican Fender stuff, you know.
Well, and I think for you, and this I know it was true for me. There was a certain type of personality that I associated with the Les Paul. Like whenever I was coming up and playing music and stuff, that I was like, yeah, no, that's not me. I don't know. Like it took a while before I saw somebody that I was like, oh, that guy's like really good and he's cool and like it sounds good. For me
I think I just thought about like Joe Walsh and Jimmy Page for the most part. Do you know what I mean? Because I didn't know anybody that had a standard. Like I didn't even know that. Like until I moved, and even in Charleston, even when I moved to Charleston, like people weren't playing. Like again, it was the studio. You'd see studios, right? And so it was just like, and I mean, I'm sure there were people that had them, but I just didn't have an association. But the few I'd pick up once I was so ingrained. Yeah. And again, we're not talking like custom shop Fenders. We're talking about modern C, kind of thin, like Strats and Telly. So when I would hold a Les Paul, I'd be like, I don't know.
I guess
even though I love the tones.
Like I would see there was this local band where I grew up at, and I won't throw out any names or anything like that, but they had a guitar player, and the guy, he was like a 60-year-old dude, and he played a Les Paul, and he would like talk to me. He's like, man, you'll never understand tone. You're too young to understand these things, or like just kind of very condescending. So I was like, oh, if you play Les Paul, you're a fucking asshole. That's what I associated it with.
I mean,
that was the only guy I knew with like a real like a first standard like cool thing.
Well, like Baxter and I talked about this before. Like it's such a weird time because you can be so casually a gear nerd.
Oh yeah,
like a casual YouTube glance, and you suddenly know about the Murphy Lab, but like I didn't even know the custom shop really existed until
straight up,
like and then YouTube happens, right? And like guitar YouTube becomes a thing, and it's like, oh,
well, I think you get almost like not a false arrogance, but like I know
think so. You kind of do,
and I've even been of this like. Before I worked at the shop, like I was like, oh, I know about just about everything under the sun, and then like it's like no, there's a lot
more stuff on there, right? There's a lot more stuff. Well, and I picked up on a lot of that when I got to Guitar Center Nashville, and there was that platinum room, and it's like, oh, all this custom shop stuff, all the like Tom Anderson stuff, all the Gibson stuff, and I was like, oh, okay. Plus all the vintage stuff, you're like, okay, I was
gonna say,
all right.
That was a big thing for me, was like getting into the vintage side of it and being like, okay, I get it. There's like way more to this than I think, Especially like whenever you start talking about pedals. Like I was playing that OCD yesterday and just being, I don't know. it's fun to play something, but like I have no idea what to expect.
Well,
You may fuck around
things
with
like
this.
that, right? You can look back at like eras with pedals because the
Yes.
OCD was like the thing
Yes.
for the like I had an OCD and it was my main
Yeah.
sort of like overdrive sound for a long time. And then one day I was like, oh, this kind of sounds fizzy to me. And then you
Right,
move on
yeah.
to the next thing, and it's like okay.
Well,
but
that-
no, I had an OCD for a long
Dude.
time.
First tube screamer like pedal that I've played in a while that actually like kicked my ass was that how do you say that word? It starts with a V. The
Vimurum.
Murum. That a guy brought one of those things in the other day.
I guess that's how you say it. I don't know.
That thing was like, it was shockingly good. I was like, that's crazy. I didn't want to believe it at first. I was like, this is a really good pedal.
Well, yeah, I knew
I
it
mean,
was going
for
to be good.
$4,000 though.
I was gonna say, and then those are kind of crazy on the internet right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, all those. I remember when those things. I was first aware of that brand when the Jan Ray
Yeah.
kind of hit the scene. But that's been years and years and years and years ago. But yeah, it's supposed to be awesome. I've never played one of those.
What do you guys think about that new 424 drive that JHS has?
424. I know nothing about it.
You
Sean.
don't know nothing about it?
I know
Dude,
nothing about it.
it's what I've been talking about forever. But there's also a bunch of other pedal companies that have made this same thing. So I'm kind of like, I don't know. I think it's just getting a bunch of hype because Josh did it, which rightfully so. I think he did a good job with it. It's a Porta Studio channel strip.
I did see that.
Yeah.
See that. I just
It sounds great. Everybody's attaching it to McGee. I'm like, there's a lot more people who have used that than just McGee. I get it.
Well, there's a lot of history to that, right? Like,
oh yeah,
like
dude. Yeah.
I saw that. Here's the old man in me.
Lay
You
the
know,
law. Lay the law down.
I saw that and kind of immediately around my brain went, that's probably not for me. Like I'm not cool enough
yeah.
for that. You know what I mean? I was like, I just don't know.
Oh, I wouldn't even say
Like,
that.
you know.
I think it's just like I don't know. I was thinking about this.
You're a boomer.
yesterday. Yeah. Well, it's like the Tweed amp, like a Bassman, right? You plug into that and you make it sing. You do things with that amp that I'm like, I don't get it.
Growls.
But if you give me like my Yamaha tape machine and a big ass Fender amp that I'm running a shit ton of reverb on and getting this crazy ass sound through, like
Some of that is playing style, right? Like, cause we just did the first Friday not long ago when Sean played for our friend Chelsea, and you had a really cool tone, but it was reverb heavy, but it was like good reverb heavy, and she was just playing acoustic, he was playing electric, so it was perfect for that. You know what I mean? But yeah, that probably wouldn't be. It's just funny how that works out, right? Like the Tweed stuff, the way that I like to play, it just works. It has that like the right grit for the little rub things that I like. It makes them go.
well, and I think
Get gnarly in the right
you
way.
have so much control as a player, and I think it is like your experience of like 20 plus years now playing live, especially. You have a ton of control to your playing, which I think fits that amp very nicely. Like the way that, like pick attack and stuff like that, because I'm bad about sometimes being just a hammer, right? Like I'll sit there and I'll bang on it. I think you have a wider dynamic range to you that you fill more of that space. Now, I want to segue on this. You bringing that up. I went out to eat with our friend Lewis Beeman last night. Talk about wedding photography stuff. Lewis, if you're watching this, you're getting a shout out.
Shout out.
We were talking, and he said, he was like, I want to ask you something. I saw you up there playing, and he was like, there were moments where you do something. I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. Do it again. And he was like, and you wouldn't. It's like, you just kept going. And he was like, was that rehearsed stuff, or was it all improvisational? Were you just coming up with it on the spot? I said, it was all improvisational, coming up with it on the spot. I said, but, I was like, you did notice something that I've been trying to work on. And I want to see if you feel the same way about improvisational playing out live, jamming, any of that. The hardest thing to overcome is overplaying and not slowing yourself down a little bit to maybe reiterate some of those special moments whenever you play them rather than moving straight through them.
I think there's a curve. I think you start off improvising and you overplay, right? Don't shut the fuck up. You just never shut up. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying you're there.
Oh, yeah.
I think you're past that.
Well,
but you do that, right?
Yeah.
And then I think everybody has this realization, like you get better and better and better at it, right? Where you're not maybe like just playing all over everything. But So now we're talking about like what you're saying, like even in the breaks, like just playing too much and not letting it breathe at all, right? Because you can absolutely do that, and then you hit a point where you realize that, and then you don't do it at all. Not improvise, but you're like waiting for the solo, and it's like almost afraid
to go
do the thing.
Yeah.
And then you got to come back around to find the balance. And I feel like probably everybody does that multiple times.
Yeah.
I feel like I've done that.
Yeah.
I've done that where I was like, oh, well, I didn't really play any. And sometimes no fills is the right thing, right? Like it just is. But I think that goes in waves where you like kind of see that and you probably overcorrect. Most players overcorrect and then. But it takes a lot of being intentionally thinking about that, I think.
Yeah.
To get to the point where like, if I do something that's super cool, that I think is super cool, I'll try to do it again. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it doesn't always work out.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like, and you probably definitely get this. Whenever you're in it and you do that and you're going, whenever you go into the thing, like sometimes I'm moving through thinking about the journey. And I wish Baxter was here because he's got some really cool thoughts on that with guitar solos, as it being like this. Like you kind of go on an odyssey, and your job on the odyssey is to be able to go somewhere that people don't expect and come back down. And you want to do it in somewhat of a timely manner, but also you want to take it somewhere.
Well, the timely manner totally depends on if it's a pop rock song, you maybe got 30 seconds and you want to go somewhere. Yeah. But if you're Goose.
Oh, you got 15 minutes. Yeah.
For better or for worse, right?
Seriously, yeah.
Because the worst thing is if you're having a long jam, and you do it too quick.
Yeah.
You gotta, and I remember that. Like I remember first going to blues jams, like in Charleston for me, and being so worried about like getting that moment to jam to play that you don't relax and like have the first phrases to build somewhere.
Yeah.
Because you're like, and this does happen, right? They're like, okay, well that's it. You got one course and that was it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But being able to relax and like take a little bit of control and ease into the thing, and that's why blues is so nice to learn, even if you're not a blues player.
For improvisation.
It just teaches you to not panic in that moment and to relax. And like, if you only play two little phrases in the first 4 bars of the one chord, that's actually kind of awesome.
Well, and while we're talking about that, especially on the blues jam end, right, is like I think that is so dependent upon who is running the band, who is running the jam, right? Because I know that you and I have both seen situations. I know I've been in situations where if whoever is running it is not giving you that confidence to say, and it's hard to give that to somebody, but there are people that I've seen who don't give you any of that. They're just kind of like, go. And then they give you...
If you're the guy playing and you feel like an absolute lack of that, it's so hard, right?
And how many times have you seen, and what really drives me insane is if you do not give the guitar player or the keyboard, whoever is the soloist in that moment, if you don't give them the full 12 bars.
Oh God!
And you've seen that situation. I've seen it happen to you before, and I'm like, why? What the fuck is wrong with this guy?
Even coming in, right? Like, don't like if you don't let anybody know until you're a bar and a half into the measure and a half in. Like, guy, that feels so bad. It just feels so bad.
It's obnoxious, and then like I've seen a guy cut. I think he cut you off in the middle, like at 6, at the 6th bar. He's like, okay, now you. And it's like, no, you were like.
Because you are like you said, you're trying to like go somewhere, right?
Yes, and you in the blues jam, I think you think of this probably like I do. I got the 12 bars.
At least
if I take it somewhere and I get another 12 after that, then we'll figure it out.
And if I'm leading the thing, I don't decide I don't say okay, Sean's getting. I just say
get there to that 10,
and then and then I try to like look at the person and be into it and smile, and I'm like, you
good, do it again,
going, you know what I mean? Because that's how you start to like.
Dude.
And then the great thing is when you don't even have to do that anymore and everybody's feeling it and you can just like, everybody feels it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a whole different talk about being like the band leader is a whole different
skill. I wanted to put that out there. So if you go to any blues jams or you're managing any of that stuff, think about that. Think about the confidence that you give on stage as you run it. I think you crush it. Like anytime that you've run it or have been a part of one or run any kind of jam, like jamming with Anthony at First Friday, you like Anthony got his big moment, and then y'all played together, and then you kind of go back and
he
forth.
crushed it. You know
It
what I
was
mean?
awesome. It's like, and that's what you do. You give the space and the confidence to say, "Hey, here you go. Let it rip."
Well, you know how you talk about this. We're getting way too philosophical, and I should be probably reading the comments instead. But
We'll jump into some comments.
you know how
We'll
when you're
answer some
talking to
questions.
someone and you can tell that they already know what they were going to say. They didn't listen to what you actually said.
Yes.
A jam is exactly the same way. You cannot. You got to just let it. Like if it's real, like if it's a song and it's rehearsed, that's totally different. Do the thing you're supposed to do. But if it's if it really is an improvised jam,
Yeah.
you have to kind of let it be what it is.
Here we
And you got to listen to what the other dude does, and you got to be prepared to react, or like the band does. You know what I mean? Like, otherwise, it's not really improvised, right? So I mean, that's what you got to do. Maybe you got in your head that like, oh, at the end we're gonna trade bars or do this like harmonized thing. But if you don't get there, you just don't get there. You know, I've
Exactly.
had that happen so many times. Right?
I don't think you can plan on that. You can't plan
It's
on
nice to kind of have that in your head and aim for it if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you want to do that, you should probably say that to the other dude before you start.
Well, and the
You know?
moments that has happened, and it's happened organically, I think it's way more
It's great.
fun. You know, like whenever we've had those moments on stage, I enjoy it more whenever it does just naturally come up.
Now,
Yeah.
Mike says this is such a friggin' good point. Trying to end a solo where the rest of the band is ready, but the drummer isn't paying attention. You have to keep going. Like, I often find myself in the scenario where like it's me and a trio or maybe a slightly bigger band, but I'm leading it and there's a lot of jamming, and so like if the bass player's looking at you and the drummer's like into it, not looking down, yeah, you got to be aware of that because like you can't just do the thing where you throw your hand up and you just assume everybody's looking and then you stop but the drummer doesn't stop. Yeah, that's a trade. I hate that jump.
Dude.
But I also hate when not everybody's looking at me.
I sent you that Jack White jam.
Yeah.
Did you see the control that he had on that band?
Yeah.
Where he threw his hand up and it was like boom. So he was like, oh, and threw his hand up and everybody went silent. And he was ripping and they went right back into the song. I was like, that's pretty damn dope, dude.
I mean, and I have to say, Joe and Rob were pretty good about that, honestly. Like when we jammed together, like they've got where they'd watch me and I'd be like, bam, all the random songs and stop.
Yes.
Baxter's super good at that.
Yes.
It's nice playing with somebody when you're singing that you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
Like it's nice having somebody
Like,
else to kind of call those
watching
things.
you like a
random
hawk.
things. Yeah,
Yeah.
Baxter's super good at that. I mean, and
What-
old
And what's cool with Baxter is he's good about making sure, like he helps you connect the links, and he like look at Roland and he's like, hey, here we go, and Roland will be paying attention to kind of
Yeah,
both of
dude.
y'all while he's going.
that's just the way. But, and it's so much of this, right? Like none of this matters if you're not in an improvisational band. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
not everything is that.
Yeah.
And that's fine. The Mike Woodruff says, I thought I was just playing bad all the time, just got cut off. Nope, not necessarily.
No, I think there's just people out there who, and like I said, I'm not throwing any stones at anybody in our local community here, but there's, sometimes there's a little more ego involved than there is, oh, let me make sure, like, hey, man, you got this. Here you go. Kill it. And, like, you're not, like, because at the end of the day, especially what was going down at the Rooster with the Blues Jams, some people were taking that shit just a little too serious and acting
Well,
like they were God up there on the hill.
If you don't have any other outlet, that's not fun. That is your time to like play, and that's tricky. You
Oh my
know,
God.
and so it's just tricky.
Yeah.
Maybe she says y'all making me want to just sit in my basement jamming my computer. Don't do it. Don't do that.
Don't
Get
do
out and
it.
play. What did somebody said? Todd Roy says, just doing Instagram videos while I improvise taught me a lot. I don't overplay like I used to sometimes, LOL. I will say that's probably one of the only real good benefits to like posting junk on Instagram and like going back after a few weeks or months and seeing yourself.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, damn, I should not do that. Or I should do that. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like you create this little practice log of yourself where you're
Yeah.
seeing your best of clips.
Yeah.
And getting to kind of,
I mean, I think, definitely record yourself when you're doing that improvisation stuff. Just because, like you're saying,
that's all I know how
I
to
don't
do.
know, it's good. It's a good way to be.
all I can do.
I'm scrolling back through just to pick up any questions we might have.
There was some orange talk.
I see that random. I'm totally in love with orange amps, Mr. Soul Shred. I think that's where that started at.
We got a pretty nice. We actually have 2 rocker verbs here. Got Baxter's.
We do, yeah.
And then we got one that's almost new over
Yes.
there. It looks new for sale. That's some great amps, man. I see why people like them. It's
Yes.
not quite the flavor of dirt that I typically love, but like if I just had endless things, I would definitely have one just to have that
Yes.
thing.
I mean, it's cool if you want something that just rocks right away.
Yeah.
Like I've kind of gotten to a place where I enjoy plugging into an amp, and it just rocks. Like the M80 can be that. If you plug right in, you're just like, okay, I'm gonna rip.
I was talking to Zach and I were having a good talk about that and amps this week, and it's funny because he was talking about how he has pretty much gone to like pedals, like even his Marshall, he got a JTM 45.
Yeah.
He's a Marshall artist, and he sets it like fat and clean. Because he's like, that's just, and honestly, that's kind of what I do with the M80.
Yeah, I was
like
gonna
it's
say.
a little broken up, but it's not like saturated at all. Yeah. And I don't know if you've seen, I know you're an avid Keith Urban fan. There's a new, I don't know if it's a rig rundown or what, but like he's gone pedalless this tour. Like as far as I'm sure he's got delay and stuff.
Is he
but
doing?
He's got the Marshall, and people were flaming him on the comments because it's like he kept calling it a super lead, and I guess it's not a super lead. I don't know, but I didn't pay that much attention. But I guess he's got it all cranked up and just using his volume knob to get the gain, which is cool.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was interesting to see like essentially a pop, and he's a killer player now.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but essentially a pop country guy
Yeah.
doing it that way is pretty interesting.
Well, it's kind of like the. What was I gonna say with that? It's kind of like the Jack White thing. Like it's kind of cool to see guys like that, because what that tells me is Keith Urban's actually out there playing that. You know, there's a lack of live musicianship like that. I think in the world, just a little bit.
That's
And
true.
seeing a dude like that, of that stature, out there doing it and crushing it and not using a bunch of pedals and just kind of like being a guitarist, pretty cool. Same thing with Jack White. I mean, obviously he's using pedals, but that video I sent Johnny the other day was more of like a. It was weird, man. I was like, whoa! I didn't realize he like
That was a
ran
cool,
that band.
like he,
Yeah.
well, yeah. That's like he's like. I mean, not to be too much like Zach or Jack White's the greatest ever.
Yeah.
Zach White.
Zach White, dude.
Jack White. It's very like I feel like he's got that like James Brown.
Yes, that's what I saw from that. Like I knew like the band was like
He is in charge, and I
Yeah.
think he does have that mind where like he's
Oh,
not
yeah.
just the dude who's up there playing and singing, and there's a music director, and the band makes it all sound pretty. Like, nah, I think he's kind of the architect of what's
Yes,
happening.
exactly.
And
it
when
is
you're that,
spontaneous.
it's easier to run. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But I was going to say about Keith Urban that I've heard, because I've known guys from his band and that have opened for him and like on tour and stuff.
Yeah.
And they said that dude, when they're not out there playing, when they're not on that he's on the tour bus, he's jamming, he's always holding a guitar. He wants everyone else to be jamming, playing guitar. He's like they just play guitar constantly at like ridiculously high levels.
That's
and I'm
dope.
like, but you can when you hear Keith Urban,
Yeah.
you can freaking tell that.
Yes.
That dude plays
He's on it.
all day, every day.
That's
Like,
kind of a
obsessively.
dream, though, right?
It's kind of amazing.
That's like, I mean, if you get to that level and you're really into guitar, like I know that's how I'd be. I mean, it's hard enough as it is with us working next door not to be like, oh, I'm just gonna hold a guitar all day and like do my work and type with my other hand. Play all day, baby. That's right.
Play all day. I mean, that would be kind of amazing. That's the joy of being like 16 and learning guitar. And you're just like,
You
oh,
just got that
play in the
time.
morning, go to school, play some, play. Just to get sort of mediocre-ish. Government Mule, late 90s at Toad's Place in New Haven, Connecticut. I don't know what that's in response to, but
That's actually it. That's the whole.
that's actually it.
Don't forget.
Todd says Jack White has been on top of his game for the past 20 years or more. He kind of has. And I don't even like, you know, some of Jack White's music is not like my bread and butter, like what I really would want to hear.
Yeah.
You know, but it's hard to see him and not be like,
Damn.
okay,
Yeah.
what he's doing
This
right.
this past year too, especially. Like, yeah, that record come out. That record kicks ass. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's cool to see him. I don't know, kind of grow into the myth and the legend and like live up to it in a way. And I think we're a little biased because we got to meet him and he was really cool. Not to be throwing that around and name dropping, but it was pretty damn cool.
Ken said he did buy you a shot.
He did buy us shots.
Ken said, I saw Jack Pearson in Nashville last week. A true master of tone improvisation and real musicality. That guy is unreal as a player.
Yeah.
If you want to see somebody that's like
Never seen him, heard of him.
stupid good with zero ego.
Yeah.
God, but he's a humbling. Because you're like, oh, wow.
I need
That's
to
what
check him
guitars
out.
are supposed to sound like.
You know,
you should.
who I want to go see? I want to go see Tom Bukovac and that tall, what's her name? Not Tall Bachman. It's I don't know. She's a bass player.
Oh, yeah,
They
yeah,
got a little,
yeah.
It's like talking Book or whatever.
Whitfield or something like that.
Yeah.
She's Tell Me a Story on Instagram.
Tell me a story. I think that'd be really cool to see. It looks like they got a badass little band put together for that.
I just saw I saw old Bukovac with the guitar party with him and Guthrie and what's the other guy's name that sings some Jed White or something like that.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. But
yeah, they got another guy they hang out with. What's his name? He does Papa.
oh yeah, he's the guy that does the lesson channel. He's always like recording them for stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like he's the business brain. I mean, he's not a bad guitar player either, but he's like the guy who's like, slow that down, tell us how to do it.
He's like, whoa. Got their traps like this.
Listen, the feel button has the most profound statement of the day.
Let's see it.
It's amazing how many things guitarists or guitar players will do to play full time besides playing all day. Oh, right in the heart. You're not wrong.
It's true.
You know, it's kind of sad. It makes it's sad that you got to do that. You wish that it was just like, oh, I play all day. I'm amazing. Done.
No. You gotta make livings too.
Sadly.
Sucks.
Do we think ambient music in TV and movies has displaced real music and hurt its reach? I don't know.
Read that again. Do you think?
Never been cheese.
Oh.
I mean, I think it's funny, right? Because like that whole, I mean, we know people that really make. Well, I know people that used to make a pretty good living just doing sync licenses, doing music for that stuff, and getting it licensed. And the system is so odd right now. I feel like that it just seems kind of convoluted, right? And like I don't know, it's just weird. So I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question exactly, but I have thoughts on it. They're just complicated thoughts.
I think it depends on how you view it, because what I see at the same time is a lot of movies and TV shows, especially if you look at a lot of the shows that go via HBO or, are leaning more into that realm of television where it's like a true like limited series thing. You see a lot of really cool songs in them. A great example would be Yellowstone, the careers that Yellowstone kind of kicked off. I think we live in a time where you have excess of everything.
Yeah.
We've got excess of that ambient music that you're talking about, but we also have excess of television programs and program distributors that are investing into.
Listen, as long as somebody is playing that ambient music and getting paid for it, I don't really care.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? As long as it's not like a prompt into AI, I don't really care. If it's your friggin' Hallmark channel. Yeah. Now, a guy I used to play for, they contacted him. This was the first big, and it was a Christian band, like a CCM band. Yeah. And he got, I forgot how it happened. Somebody heard his album, and hit him up for a Hallmark movie, and put a handful of songs on this straight to Walmart Hallmark soundtrack. Yeah. And he made like pretty freaking good money on it. And we were like, wow. And then Hallmark was like, knew him, and they were like, hey, we got this movie. You want to do some songs? You want to write a little bit? And he was like, yes. And so it was like, I don't know. I mean, that was a really good income stream.
I know. I mean, I got a handful of friends. Same situation. There's a group. There's these guys out towards Wilmington who initially started out in like pop punk hardcore band, and they did that for 3 or 4 years. They were signed to a pretty decent sized label, and then they got an offer to do a movie trailer, and they did it, and it went great. And people started contacting them, and they said, "Well, I think they got over kind of doing the pop punk hardcore thing and shifted gears and started doing that, and they've like crushed it. Like that guy's got a wife and kids and a whole career and set up, and he's doing all that, and he's like, I don't really want to make the other kind of music. I do this, and I do a great job at it, and he loves it. I'm like,
Well, then, like,
it's awesome.
most productions can't afford to pay the fees for, like, an established hit with, like, a record deal to a record label. So that's why they look for indie artists, I feel like. Do you know what I mean? But, like, I had a friend in Nashville. We worked at Guitar Center together, and he had a band. They were all from Ohio. And it was, like, they weren't, like, doing the country, like, Broadway thing. They were, like, an original sort of, like, rock band, And somehow they got a song on Vampire Diaries, I think.
Dope.
And I could be remembering some of the fine details of this wrong because it's been a long time. But that, like, pushed them into certainly, like, getting stuff synced in like, pretty big TV shows at the time, right? Which led to him getting a publishing deal.
Yeah.
So he was writing with, like, he's the guy I was telling you about who had said he would go write with Rich Robinson, and it was awesome, but then everything was, like, open G, and he was like, we can't really use this for our band. But, you know what I mean? But, so, I mean, that's kind of cool. Now, here's the thing about Yellowstone, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that anybody would care as much about Ryan Bingham right now, or a lot of those artists that have kind of had a good resurgence from Yellowstone.
Yeah.
I feel like that is sort of an anomaly for a TV show, because Yellowstone was, like, such a cultural thing.
Yep.
Right? And they used real music from, like, sort of real... Because they were trying to have... That just happened to be the vibe. Hey, we're cowboys. We live in Montana.
Yeah.
Here's the Turnpike Troubadours, who I love, by the way. But you know what I mean? Like, that is just fortunate for everyone. But I think there was a time back earlier 2000s when you had all those weird, like, CW shows and stuff where there were lots more...
One Tree Hill, dude.
But they were looking for bands.
Yep.
And they were like, hey, here's some money, but we're not getting it from a label. We just, pay you the fee. And it's a lot less. That's kind of my understanding of it. But I don't know. It's strange.
Well, it's like...
Strange thing.
I mean, I can't remember the show or movie, but I know Zach was featured in a Netflix movie of some sorts, and he was the backing band in the background of the scene. I think there's a lot more of that, but you never really get... It's not as much of a light on it because we're not all watching the exact same things at the exact same
like,
time.
when he was on Vampire Diaries, everybody's like, well, who's that band?
Or One Tree Hill is burning it up, and you see that scene, or any of those other TV shows that people just watch. Like, we would watch them as one almost,
Do you remember when it was like...
it's bad.
Like the Fray on friggin' Grey's Anatomy and stuff, like that. I mean, like, all those things kind of launched some pretty big bands.
If your audio is off, set the playback.
So our audio is being funny. Like I said, it was storming here pretty bad, so I don't know if our internet's funky or
what. What's that?
The video's delayed. I think it's a PC spec issue. I think it's just running too hot.
Badass, baby.
It's a little delayed.
That's why that baby's screaming over there. She's got that.
Yay.
Cut on the mega fans.
Don't worry.
My buddy Phil got a Grammy for the music he did on a show last year. There you go.
So there you go.
I mean, I think there's a lot of I don't know. Like, I look at Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. Like, everybody's like, oh, well, they went and did soundtracks instead of doing Nine Inch Nails music. I'm kind of like,
it's kind of awesome though.
It is awesome.
And you get to, like, hang out in your studio and then be home and just, like,
well, dude,
make money.
Imagine you do the rock legend thing. You play all these massive tours. You do all that stuff, and then you get to a point where you're like, well, what else can I do? Like, the idea of going bigger is done. Take on a new challenge, and they did that for like 12 years. They're still doing it. I think it's cool.
Tom says, what do we think about guitars being used as props in TV commercials and movies when the actors clearly don't know how to play? I don't care.
I don't.
I just don't have a strong thought about it. Sometimes when I see it and it's really bad, it's cringy to me.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't expect them to either have musicians who are only on the commercial. I don't know. I don't know. What do you have? Is that a thought?
Hey, we're back.
I was trying to reset it to get those because it was like out of sync by like a whole second or two.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't bother me at all. Like, I can care less. I think it's amazing whenever it's in like the Hateful Eight. and Kurt Russell destroys a piece of history.
Here's what I find
That
funny.
was amazing.
And I don't care about this. It's just what I find funny, right? Like, you know how you'll be on Instagram and it'll be like Tecavo's Boots or some kind of ad,
Yeah.
and it'll be like like there are guys standing up on a guitar amp, and it's like when you're on the stage, but it'll be like a Fender frontman, you know what I mean, from 1993, and you're like, I don't think you're having the effect. And I'm sure the average person sees that and it's like, hell yeah, like musicians wear these things.
guitar.
But and I know most people that see it aren't playing, but when I see that kind of stuff, or like they're just holding the guitar cheesy,
Yeah.
you know, in the ad, it's like clearly their hand, they have no idea what to do with their hand on the fretboard. I find that funny.
I think if it's going to be something like that,
Like, be cool.
it's not that hard to go and find a musician who wears boots. You know what I mean?
Listen, and maybe they got some dude on the who's like, man, I play a little guitar, and he's like,
They
here's
just
this
know,
amp's awesome.
so
you know?
and so's cousin.
Fender,
Yeah,
you know,
they're like,
and-
my
and-
cousin plays.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just like, man, couldn't you have like a slightly beat up like deluxe reverb or something awesome? Tweed, find something tweed.
Something.
It didn't have to be real. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Always faking a G chord.
Hall said, I'd prefer Crossroads didn't exist, but what can you do? All those deals with the devil are getting out of hand. Listen, the Karate Kid crushed it.
I saw it earlier.
Crushed it.
He did okay. I want to say, Chad B asked about bringing us lunch tomorrow at 12:30, and you absolutely may, sir. I've been playing your Telecaster nonstop. It's a good telly, dude.
It's a good telly.
I didn't take it to my gig,
However,
but
It's not
I
too
did
late.
play it. I was
there's
like,
more gigs.
man, wow.
Mr. Soul Shred says, can't wait to see a show here in Red Rocks. Joe Bonamassa is a summer staple there. Our pal Eddie 9-Volt just played Red Rocks.
He did.
And he
Opened up
said
for
it was
ZZ.
amazing, but he said it was kind of intimidating. And I imagine it would be.
Dude,
Especially
Billy
opening up
Gibbons?
for friggin' ZZ Top. Yeah.
Billy Gibbons sitting side stage, looking at you, pulling on his beard like this the whole time. You know he was doing that. He was.
They should have stopped the show and be like, Billy, come out here. Come out here and play one. Imagine just calling Billy out. Don't do the opening act.
No,
the opening act.
no,
No talk about it beforehand.
nothing. You don't
Billy,
even speak to him.
Billy!
Get your ass out here.
And you just stop and you just stand there with your hand on your hip like until he
You
comes
don't
out.
do nothing,
What
dude.
happens in that scenario? Does Billy walk out and
You
play a
play a
song?
little walk-up
Or do
music,
they
that's
just
it.
say, they're just like,
And they're
they
like,
just throw you off. It's kind of
Billy's
amazing.
not coming.
Kind of amazing. Y'all got those Ultra Lux spinaches?
We got one in the blue.
Listen.
Dude. Pretty good.
I almost hate to say it.
It's pretty fucking good, dude.
The
We
mayor's
can-
gonna hate this.
He is.
But it actually
Look,
is stupidly good.
We-
And I know you're thinking, yes, we do have to sell them. But you know that if we hate things, we just
we
tend
just
to not
don't
talk
talk
about it.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I would want to talk shit on it because of how hyped up it's gonna be, but honestly, it's pretty damn good. It's not bad.
I was really very pleasantly surprised playing it.
I think the finish is really good.
Well, it's because I
think-
don't love the aesthetic of like the Ultra Lux, right?
neither.
Like the ultra modern thing.
Yeah.
So it's like they're like, okay, you want a really kind of a
Yes.
modern feeling acting thing,
Yes.
but it's got the kind of vintage aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's pretty darn good.
Yes.
And the fact, it's got things Fender should be doing, like the stainless steel frets and all that kind of
Stainless
stuff.
steel frets.
But
But you also get the vintage tuners.
this
I
is
mean,
a
it
fair
just
point,
works.
Mayor Cheese. He says, I'm sure it's a great guitar. Just call it a Strat.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that it should be like, where forever it was just the standard, and then
Yeah.
the American standard, and then we started getting all these other things. It would be nice to kind of streamline that, where you got a handful of Strats at price points.
Yeah.
And they're, but
I mean,
Chad B says, feel free to gig it if you want.
woo! Chad.
Chad,
You
I have
give me a license to kill, all right?
I have thought about taking the old mule out of some things, but I have refrained myself. I was like, nah.
It's hard, dude. I'm
Nah.
like, man, I don't know if I can. It'd be.
All these people
Like,
who
what
let
if
us
something
borrow
happened?
stuff. The thing about us borrowed stuff, right? Like, first off, everyone who's ever sent us things to play, you're way too kind to us, and we greatly appreciate it.
Kevin Walsh,
Everybody,
Surrender,
all sorts of
you
people
great
on here.
guys. We love you all. Thank you.
I'm always like, sometimes people are like, go and gig it, dude. I sweat. Like if it was a casual 45-minute gig or something.
Yeah.
But on like gigs, I don't like trash my stuff and then I clean it and then I
Yeah.
refresh. But it's like, I hate to do that to somebody else's really nice guitar.
Well, and I'm the same. Like, I don't want to say I'm a motherfucker on a guitar, but I mean, I'm a fucker, I get rough. I don't. I'd feel bad if I were to take somebody else's gear out there and do that though, and something were to happen. Like I
Yeah.
don't like smash any of my shit, but
No,
you know I don't want it to be
not yet.
fucked.
Hey, should one of us?
Exactly.
I just realized should one of us go over and open the shop?
Should probably do that. I forgot. I forgot B. Clem wasn't here.
Yeah. I can run over and do that if you want to.
It's totally up to
Yeah,
you. Whatever you
I'm leaving Sean here today, and then I'll be back, boys. I'll be back.
do. You're gonna catch the heat.
Catching heck. All right.
All right.
I love you all.
Get.
You can look at comments in there if you want. Yeah, that's fine. I'll be back.
Well, listen. Give me your burning questions. Give them to me now while JP's here before he kills somebody. JP's like, I'm leaving.
No, it's just the light. It's pretty bad.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Is it-
So I've been trying to fix it.
Poop break. I say beat the shit. Okay, here we go. Okay, Sean. Silver Sky versus Fender. Any model strat. Well, it depends on what you like. I don't think a Silver Sky is a strat. I think it's a Silver Sky, if that makes sense. Like, anytime I've played a Silver Sky, it makes me do other things. Like, I don't know. I play maybe a little more... I don't know. It's just weird. It's different. It's hard to explain. It just feels different to me. I don't know why. It's not a bad thing. It's just its own thing. Let's see. How's the energy level, Sean? Any better? It is a little bit better. I've been making some changes. Been doing some stretches. I drink more water. I don't know. You know, I've been working on it. It's been good. Where do babies come from? JP, you care to answer that one?
Mommy and daddy love each other.
Oh God. Yeah, no. Let's see. Most of us started off with pointy-headed guitars as a young metal rockhead. Now I prefer the classic standard banjos. Acoustic Clapton set, never. I did invite Sturgill Simpson to my wedding. I have not heard back though, so I'm assuming he's on tour. That's all it is. How are the wedding plans coming? They're coming along. We're talking to a photographer. That was Louis Beeman and his wonderful wife Jennifer last night. We're like less than a month away, so September 6th. It's coming, and I think we're excited. I feel like we got almost everything together. I got to order some boots and some bolo ties for everybody, but then outside of that, we'll be rocking. Best offset, and why is it a Jaguar? I think it's a Jazzmaster. I go back and forth. I was loving the Jaguar, and as of late, Jazzmasters have really been rocking my world. So I don't know. That's where I stand. What else we got here? Do you have any issues with the volume knob on the Strats? No, I've never had an issue with the volume knob on the Strat. I actually prefer it being that close for volume swells and stuff. But I'm getting used to it on a telly too. Sean is going off the market. Ladies and Cougars, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I am going off the market. It's happening. We're doing it. We're committed. Scary thing to do, but it's happening. Jazzmasters for sure, Greg McFadden says. I don't know, man. I just, like, we got this Jag over here. We got the Jazzmaster back there. Let me grab this Jag. Just for a minute. Like, sometimes I don't appreciate the tightness of a Jaguar. Like it's very tight. It's very tight sounding guitar, you know? Plays tight. It's hard for me. I don't know. Jazzmaster, though, kicks ass. Now, I do love the metal plates on a Jag, and I wish that the Jazzmaster had the same setup, so whenever something goes wrong, you can just boop. That would be nicer. Poop Soup said prenup. Well, the thing is, guys, we gotta have money in order to prenup. We don't have enough to really prenup anything. And I know that you can do it if you don't have money and all that stuff. Have you heard the new Geese songs? Yes, I have. Dude, taxes? You want me to pay my taxes? That shit kicks. Does it compare to the Gibson Les Paul Standard? Same price. I mean, I don't know. A Jaguar? Is that what you're asking? Or are you asking about the Vela? I see people talking about the Vela. I don't know why. No, not prenup, pre-game. You prefer Jazzmaster over Jaguar, and Mustang doesn't Warmoth make a Jazz Stang. Might fill both needs. I can see that. I wouldn't mind that. I have played a handful of vintage Mustangs that I thought were cool, but I've never played a new one that like really rocked my shit. So I should get a Jaguar to go with my Mustang and Jazzmaster. You should. It's not a guitar that I would say I would never get. I would just get a Jazzmaster first, then a Jag, then a Mustang. That's just me, though. Yeah, it's kind of like what they'd call like almost a Target sunburst. How it's harsh. But I do get where Mayor McCheese is coming from. I like the wide fade, two-tone wide fade. That's a good burst. You have the Lee Ronaldo Strat, or Jazzmaster. I wanted one of those for a long time. I was like, those are cool. And I never really jumped on it. I was like... So that would be your go-to amp. So what would be your go-to amp for a Jazzmaster? Princeton's are cool. I feel like I get a lot of resonance out of the guitar, the Princeton. Specifically speaking, Jazzmaster. Comes with 2 Kunify pickups. That's badass. Well, yeah. It's cool. Well, anything else you guys want to know, ask, mess around with? You can ask me anything. Go crazy. And then we'll probably go for a few more minutes, and then I'll sneak next door to make sure everything's going well. In 20 years, you'll be a rock and roll star. Consider that prenup, although I suspect that Skylar will be a Warhol level artist, so maybe not on the prenup. That's kind of my thought. I'm putting all my tokens into the basket that we're gonna do all right, but we're pretty good as a team. So does Derek still work there? We haven't seen or heard him in a month or two. Derek, I believe, is making a little bit of a shift, but we'll have more to say about that soon. We'll all, me, Johnny, Baxter, will all come together and have a video soon. Expect some more videos around September 1st. We're gonna be working towards that. Whole little revamp action. We're working on some stuff, so it'll be good. Will you be exchanging rings and guitars? I wish. I think it's just gonna be rings, but who knows? She might surprise me. Where did you meet your wife? I met her, it's kind of crazy, we met via Instagram 10 years ago, and we got to know each other, and talked for a while, and then we ended up dating, and then we took a little break for a couple years, and then we started dating again once she got to college, and we've just kind of been stuck at the hip, dude. Can't get rid of each other. Okay, where's the safest, funnest place to crash for a night in Fayetteville? The safest place would be, what's that road called? Oh, on the Merc, dude. Murchison Road? Anywhere there. Murchison Road? Anywhere on there will be perfect. That's what you want to be on. Trust me. Ring for her, Gibson SG for Sean. Sounds good to me. It sounds good to me too. I like that. Because I don't know if I'm going to do the ring. What happened to your gauntlets? Did you lose your superpowers? I did. They stole them from me today. I walked out of the house without them on. It's like, I don't need them today. It'll be fine. But I do feel weaker without them. You took the train to Fayetteville once. PJ. Is that Jason? She's a little out of whack. Well, there you go. I took off my rings to play yesterday, and I got reamed out by the crowd. Mostly my wife. It's got to be difficult to play with a metal ring, right? Like, banging against the guitar the whole time, knocking in the frets. I can only assume so. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm assuming it's not a good call. There's a 1987 Jazzmaster, my local CL, for $1,200. Is that a good deal? I mean, I'd have to see it, but I don't know. On your local Craigslist. Okay, I get what you're saying now. I don't know. I mean, I'd have to see it, and then I'd say you'd want to go and play it. Give it a shot, see what you think. The wedding ring doesn't bother me, but I wear a pinky ring on my right hand that bangs on my bridge. I got a thumb ring and something that I think I put on my ring finger on my right hand whenever I play, but it doesn't bother me at all, just because everything else is there. Yeah, Murchison Road, and your camper will look great out on the Merc, dude. You just park it anywhere. Don't worry about it. How many times have you come up with a great guitar tone and then it sounds like dog shit after you step away for 2 minutes? Honestly, never. Whenever I get dialed into something, I'll hone in. I take pictures of all the pedals and setup and stuff. Heck yeah. But that's just me. I lost a nipple ring once doing the fake guitar swing. That's nice. I'm imagining John trying to do that right now. Well, alright. TMI. Well, sweet. Well, I guess that's about it. I'll go ahead and peace out of here. I'm going to go check on Johnny next door, and we'll see you guys next week. Click like, click subscribe. Get ready for new videos soon. Hit the bell. And we'll talk more and let you know. So, we'll see you later on. Yeah!